This is the Agribusiness Report. I'm Tony St. James. We're joined today by the Honorable Mike Conaway. He represents the 11th Congressional District of Texas and is the ranking member on the House Ag Committee. It's great to see you.
Well, it's great to be here, Tony, and I appreciate you putting a name tag there so I'll remember who you are, but you've got a lot of gear here, so it's great to have you at the Ag Committee's alternate hearing room, and good to be with you this morning. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I don't travel lightly, let's put it that way.
Oh, you don't?
And I also failed to mention the powerful Ag Committee is what you are a member of. Latest round of Coronavirus Food Assistance Program, or CFAP. We did get a CFAP now 1, and the administration announcing CFAP 2. What do you see on that?
Well, $14 billion of help to rural America. That will go a long way toward addressing a small part of the losses and impact that COVID has had and the pandemic that's been going on. Sign up began Monday the 21st. And will run through December the 11th. So obviously, producers out there that were affected need to sign up, but there's a broad array of programs. We think this one will be a little simpler than CFAP 1, and FSA's they're on the ball again, ready to sign folks up. So this is going to be important help that'll go out as quickly as FSA can get it out.
When we talk about some changes between the first CFAP and CFAP 2, one of those areas is wheat and the ability to get all 6 classes in there.
Well, it is. Again, we should always learn from things we're doing. Obviously, CFAP 1 had some struggles and some issues associated with it. Livestock is one of those, and wheat also. And so we've tried to, USDA's done a really good job, I think, of looking at what worked and what didn't work in CFAP 1. To try to address that, to get resources to folks who didn't maybe get the help they needed under CFAP 1 to get access to that help in CFAP 2. So they're being flexible, which is hard because none of us like to be told our ideas aren't the best ever. And so, but they've done a good job of mitigating some of the things that were struggles in CFAP 1.
Now, if I understand correctly, CFAP 2 also includes some money that was not invested in CFAP 1. Maybe they weren't able to use all of that. But there's also some more money that comes from CCC, and that brings up an interesting point as well. What's happening with the CCC?
Well, Tony, on the first part, the $14 billion is the 14 that was in the CARES Act that became available July 1st. We do think there's unspent money under CFAP 1 that hopefully the Secretary will take a look at repurposing those dollars once those commitments are fully paid up and we know exactly how much didn't get spent. What's happening right now, the only thing Congress has to do year in and year out is fund the government for the next fiscal year. This fiscal year ends on October 1st, or September 30th. The new fiscal year starts October 1st. And we've not put in place the appropriations for next year's business. And so if nothing happens between now and September 30th, we quote unquote shut the government down. Well, nobody in their right mind wants to do that a month out in front of the election because that's just not good for anyone. And so we will do what's referred to as a CR. In its purest form, it simply says you spend money in the new fiscal year exactly the way you spend it in the old fiscal year and to move forward. That's fine for most of government. It's not particularly dynamic. It's terrible for the Department of Defense because they spend so much money. They got so many programs going that they need to do away with, and or that if they have to keep spending money they shouldn't spend. They can't spend money on it. So, but that's the fact. In the ag world, one of the anomalies that has been done in the past under the Obama administration and last year under the CR last year is to replenish the CCC, the Commodities Credit Corporation, is that funding cash flow mechanism that USDA uses to pay the bills. And Title I, Title II, trade promotion programs, all those kind of good things get paid out of that, as well as the market facilitation payments from last year, some of the extra CFAP money that was not directly appropriated under the CARES Act. That has a funding level of a hard cap of $30 billion. That cap will have been reached almost by the end of this month. So October is a big month for ARC, PLC, conservation payments going out. So producers signed up for those programs last year. They were expecting these payments in October. They've always gotten them in October. Bankers are expecting them in October. They've always come on time. But for whatever reason, my Democrat colleagues have decided to not replenish the CCC as a part of this CR, which means that it will get replenished sometime in November, early December, and that means that all of these payments potentially, or most of them, would be delayed for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it is, and that's just simply not fair. It's going to happen. We should do it now so that those payments can go out, that cash flow can get into rural America and do the good that it's supposed to do. Now, that's separate and apart from the CFAP funding that's also coming. But these are the bankable items that the Farm Bill provides year in and year out. This allows the cash flow planning, the banking, lending, all those kind of things are predicated on these payments coming out in October. And my Democrat colleagues have chosen to not do that. I offered an amendment to the CR bill yesterday that would fix this. The Democrats on the committee voted unanimously to not let this amendment move forward. And so the broader House will not get a vote on this. And basically shame on my Democrat colleagues for once again taking rural America hostage for the fact they don't like the president. They tried this last year. We beat them up about it. They capitulated once they saw the error of their ways. Doing it this year in front of an election month where all of these, the few Democrat members who represent rural America are going to have to go home and explain to their producers why the check's not in the mail the way they're expecting it. And I would not want to have that conversation. I would not want to be able to have that deal. It makes no sense politically. This started last week when 4 so members of the Senate went down to the floor to have a colloquy about how important this was. It made the ranking member on the Senate Ag Finance Approach Committee, I guess, mad. And so she came down and lit it up. And so all of this deal kind of came unwrapped. And then Friday, Mnuchin and Pelosi thought they had a deal. Mnuchin thought he had a deal with Speaker Pelosi. And was ready to move forward, told our leadership, hey, it's fixed, it's done. And then an hour and a half later, she called back and said, nope, the CCC funding's out of the CR. And that's what was dropped yesterday. And all I can say is it's just, I can't explain why. I can say how. My conjecture is that they're wanting to punish rural America because rural America generally supports President Trump.
Is there any path forward if it isn't in that CR out of the House, any path forward to work it back in?
Well, given that everybody's leaving to campaign at the end of next week, it doesn't look like it. So the best opportunity would be to fix it in the CR. Now, we've just gotten word that the CR was supposed to be, the rule for the CR was supposed to be voted on at noon today, the 22nd. They've delayed that. And so apparently the speaker may be trying to figure out some way to fix this issue. Hopefully she is doing that because that'll be the right answer for everybody. We get this argument off the table. But if it doesn't happen, then I don't see a way forward. Quite frankly, there's no vehicle to get this to the president's desk because this will require the president to sign the law to replenish the net realized losses out of the CCC to get those done before September 30. So if it doesn't get done on the CR, I'm not aware of a path forward that would fix this issue until November, December.
When you head back, you're not campaigning, and that is because you have set a date to retire.
Yeah.
And
well, just not run for re-election.
And as we sit here in the committee room and I look around, I see quite a few past chairmen and a couple from Texas, Kiki De La Garza. I also see Larry Combest up here and many others, and someday we'll be seeing yours hang up as well. Actually, I guess it's been unveiled.
It has. We did that last week. Wow, what an afternoon. The event itself was terrific. It was well done. My team did a great job of putting it together in the face of the pandemic. Normally unveilings are, everybody come, everybody's invited, that kind of stuff, but we were limited to the number of people who would be there, but it came off without a hitch. The artist did a great job with some terrible material to work with, but he did a good job. And so we got to unveil it. My wife was the one who pulled the curtain. And I'm proud of the portrait. And so it was, but it was humbling because that event belies the stunning amount of work that was done over 16 years to make that happen. Not by me, but by people who were associated with me. My team across all 16 years got me to that point, whether it's the personal staff that helped make sure I got reelected 8 times, or the committee staff that just worked incredible hard to get the farm bill done and get cotton back under Title I, and the gin and cost share programs, all those things that we did that I get credit for. I just had an awesome team, but for them, that portrait wouldn't be there, because I could not have gotten to that point without all the help that these folks have given me over the years, loyalty that I'm proud of. And so it was humbling to see that, understand just a little bit of just what all went in to getting that done and earning that deal. But it was not one person did it. I had hundreds of folks who contributed to my success over all these years that had any one of them not done what they did for me, I wouldn't have been there. So I'm humbled by the hard work's been done on my behalf all these years.